To our legions of fans, welcome to something a bit new. This is the start of a new series, a new playlist called Local Heroes, where I will meet and talk with local musicians of note, people who I think are talented, intelligent and fascinating, and find out a little bit about them, what makes them tick, see if I can't steal a lick or two and maybe teach them a little something in return. So with us today we have George Groove of Mysterious Blues. And first question to get out of the way is, how fortunate is it that you were born with the surname Groove? And where did that come from?
It was just a name I just got because I used to do a lot of sort of funk improvisations at times, and it was just a name that just somebody said one day, and I just stuck.
You're doing better than me. I never got a nickname. Well, at least one I could that I'd be willing to repeat on air, put it that way.
I've had a few nicknames, but that one just stayed with that.
I can go home. Well, I got a chef nick my name, so. Right. Well, on to the question. So, of course, congratulations. You are my first ever interviewee, but also apologies because you are my first ever interviewee. I have made notes and everything. Never normally bother with that. So, first off, before I forget my lines, what has it got you started playing guitar? And what are your earliest experiences?
Rockabilly, to be honest.
Interesting. Yeah. Tell us a bit more.
I would say Buddy Holly got me first started guitar.
Yeah. So was this early on then? Was it like a family thing? You come from a musical background?
I used to listen to music before I played, and I used to sing as a kid as well. Try and sing.
Again, it's not for me to come to the part to comment on anyone singing.
Can't sing, but yeah, I try. So, but Buddy Holly got me into Buddy Holly and listening to Muddy Waters and stuff like that. Oh, cool.
So were your parents then into that kind of music? Or was that just stuff you found on your own?
No, they weren't. No. One of my dad's friends was in a rockabilly band, and he used to listen to that kind of music, and I used to be into the Beatles when I was a kid, and obviously when you discovered the Beatles, you then go deeper, and obviously Buddy Holly was a big influence.
Cool.
Of the Beatles, I used to listen to my dad's mate playing guitar.
So you actually had to be first-hand musicians. You actually see real people playing music up close and personal.
Yeah. I used to watch him play, and then I used to copy some of the licks and stuff. And
Cool.
that's what, and then my dad knew a few chords as well, and I used to try and imitate, like, That'll Be the Day, but using like 2 chords or something like that, and just to get me sort of
That's a
started.
proper old school way of going
used
about
to,
things.
Sort of encouraged me, and then it sort of progressed as time went on.
So how old were you when you first got started?
Roughly about I don't know, 13 or something like that. Yeah, something like that.
Cool. Yeah. So my first brush with it was at 12, and it was not a teaching style that resonated with me. So that's something I regret. I do envy the people who did it smart and started young. That's such an important thing to do.
Yeah.
And were you always? I mean, how did you tend to go about learning songs? Were you primarily an ear player, or?
Yeah, I am. To be fair, I can't. When I'm performing, I struggle. I struggle to play something the same. The same. I'll be honest with you. I struggle.
Well, Hendrix and Stevie Ray Vaughan never played anything the same way twice, and is that why? I mean, did you gravitate towards blues because of that, or was it more?
I think I just well, it wasn't just blues. I appreciate. I love rock and roll and rockabilly, which is the same thing, to be honest. In my opinion, it's just speeded up. I think I love all kinds of music. I love Van Halen, but I love modern music as well. But I just had this feeling, I got from the blues, which buzzed me. Don't know what it was, but
there's just that thing sometimes, isn't there, where you resonate and you go, yeah, that I get that.
Yeah, I like the blues because you can express yourself, and there's no rules. You know what I mean? You can try and be creative, with it. So.
Yeah, I think that's always something that I've found intriguing about it. Is there's a lot of the idea of doing more with less, and you're also, if you think about the sort of historical heritage. I mean, we're spoiled now with music being freely on demand and so many different forms of entertainment being on demand, whereas blues, to the people who were in those sort of historic situations, if you're a colour guy in a 1920s sugar plantation, you've had a horrible day today, you're going to have a horrible day tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow, and the only thing you've got to look forward to is maybe going to a juke joint on a Friday night, watching a blues player belt out some songs, getting hammered, having a good time and trying to forget about things. And to those people, really, music would have been their lifeline, one of the few things that kept them sane. And that's one of the things that I really like about it. It's got, it's kind of a weird thing to say, but I think that music really matters, because I think it did keep people, it did give people something to hope for.
Yeah, well, that's why I wasn't a massive fan of school, so yeah.
Cool. And I've got to admit, for me, I went through all the embarrassing kiddie pop stuff when I was a kid, so I can't claim that I was brought up on Muddy Waters and stuff like that. I think my first musical experiences would have been Stock Aitken and Waterman. It took me a little while. Did you have to go through the primary school music meat grinder? Were you ever forced to play the recorder? Because it certainly was always the way that you get a musical kid, you go, right, here's a recorder, crush your dreams.
No, I never got into anything like that. No.
So it's always just something you did purely independently?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Cool. So what about some of the earliest playing experiences that you got, like early gigs, stuff like that?
Just playing it, like, and jamming at school. Sometimes I would jam at high school, and in the dinner time, whenever most people are outside socialising or whatever, I'd be jamming with the drummers,
Cool.
different things. So, and Yeah, so instead of outside and stuff like that, even at high school, I was just jamming and stuff. Yeah, I used to go to.
Be honest now, be honest. When you were in high school, learning guitar was at least some portion of it to be able to pick up girls.
I was never interested in girls, to be honest, when I was that age. Yeah.
Maybe that was me coming to a bit older then.
I was purely interested in my guitar.
I admire that. I admire that.
Well,
yourself.
school guitars, and it had some nice. I remember they had some nice Squire guitars, made in Korea and stuff, and yeah, I used to pick them up, because I used to be into guitars anyway back then, and it's like, yeah, feels nice.
Cool.
Even though it's been abused,
Yeah, they do tend to lead very hard live school guitars, unfortunately. Yeah. But yeah, are there any sort of early standout gigs that you remember?
I used to go to an open mic at the Musician. They used to do like an open jam session called the Dead Rock Stars Night.
That rings a bell. I never went to that, but that does ring a bell. I think I must have had people tell me about it.
And I used to go to that when I was young, to be honest. Yeah.
Cool.
And they let me get up and do one song, just one song. And I would do whatever it was, Maybelline, Chuck Berry or whatever, or something like that. Or
Cool.
something simple, and maybe a red house, but like it was obviously a bit more basic because you learn as you go along.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I'm learning all the time. I've learned a lot in 2 days, to be honest, just playing. I just love playing, to be honest.
Can't argue with that. And it shows, when you can't lose with it. I'm going to have to refer to my notes from here. Right, this was the scary one, wasn't it? This was the influences, three, and possibly naming three favourite guitarists or three most influential guitarists, taking into account that this is not a legally binding contract. You are allowed to come back later and change your mind.
I'm honoured that you've asked me to do this.
I'm honoured that you're coming.
I'm not very good at interviews, but yeah.
Well, neither am I. It's like anything, you learn on the job, don't you? You learn as you go, so here we are.
I do more playing on stage than talking. Yeah. But what were you going to ask me?
Well, I was going to ask you about your influences. Any particular guitar players that you consider influential on your style? I mean, I see Hendrix and Stevie Ray Vaughan straight there.
Yeah, I would pick definitely Hendrix. He's number one. Yeah, definitely. I would pick Van Halen as well, because believe it or not, because he brought he, even though people were doing it before, he brought tapping to the masses. He made it popular, and it's the same with Hendrix. People would playing behind the heads and with their teeth before him, but he brought it to the masses and made it popular. And he obviously brought fuzz, pop, made it popular as well. All the effects as well. He brought a lot to the music, world, I think, and I think Van Halen as well did a similar thing as well.
Well, yeah, you said both trailblazers in their own right.
Yeah, even though he's not a blues player. Well, he is actually. To be fair.
He always struck me.
Music.
He's like supercharged blues, isn't he?
You get these people that play the licks, and you learn the blues licks, and you play them fast and all that. But then there's another level you've got to try and do. You've got to be able to feel the music as well. And if you can't feel it, then it doesn't come across right. You know what I mean.
I've sort of found, looking at Van Halen playing, that it's like Chuck Berry on steroids in a way. You got your classic kind of, but then Eddie would sort of go, what happens if I go and stand up here? And it struck me that was the way he would have approached things.
Yeah.
Take something like, because I know historically he's said that Clapton, like Queen Mary Clapton, was one of his biggest influences.
Right.
And if you analyse some of the Clapton mix, and then you sort of go, okay, well, yes, Clapton would have gone, and Eddie would go. So, well, I'm going to take that note and tap it with my hand here, and then, oh, what happens if I slide upwards? And he's just learned everything that's gone before him, and then gone, oh, what if I just do this little extra dimension here? And although it might not initially seem that way, I think you can boil a lot of his stuff down to basic rock and roll licks, and then just adding in this sort of famed tapping technique. Cool. So Van Halen, Jimi Hendrix. Who would you put as a number 3? Not that necessarily have to be in that order.
It was tough to actually choose 3. I'll be honest with you. I was going to pick another blues guitarist, but I decided to pick Freddie King. The reason why, because I feel he was underrated anyway, and I still think today people don't really recognise him.
I'll go with that. Yes, I would thoroughly agree with you.
You know, someone like B.B. King, let's say. So I picked Freddie King for these reasons: that he influenced Stevie Ray Vaughan a lot, and he also influences new guitarists, new blues guitar players like Joanne Shaw Taylor as well. You can see Freddie King in her playing as well. She's an up and coming, pretty famous.
She's from not far from it. She's
that's right. So I also think Eric Clapton as well got a lot of influence off Freddie King as well.
Having gone through the 3 of them kind of transcribing their stuff, I mean, BB's the obvious guy, dude. He's absolutely gorgeous, jazz inflected, mixing minor and major pens on it. Albert King is just, well, has made a career out of turning playing pretty much every song. But again, great guy, doing less with more, managing to present himself, and being what's called a rock star in his own right. Whereas Freddie's kind of got this earthy working man appeal to him. And I think Freddie, out of the 3 of them, Freddie is the closest to what we consider a classic rock player, like maybe Jimmy Page or somebody like Slash.
Yeah, I feel he feels the music, and there's not too much showmanship with Freddie King as well. You know, I feel that he actually feels
very, very kind of gritty, down to earth style.
With Albert King and stuff and B.B. King, there's a lot of talking and stuff. With Freddie King, he just plays and feels the music,
I think most classic rock guys will probably draw a line back to Freddie more than they would Albert or B.B.
But I love Albert King as well, and I think people think, oh, that's a Stevie Ray Vaughan lick, but really it's an Albert King lick.
Yeah, all those little microtone bends. Yeah, the way he played that little pentatonic.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that people relate that to Stevie Ray Vaughan because he made it popular, but in the 80s and now, but really it comes from Albert King. So yeah, there's.
I think he's very distinctive, Albert King, as is BB, and I don't think there are many people around who play like either one of them. I think you take your basic blues rock guitar player, the immortals like us, and I think our style is probably closer to Freddie King's, whether we would necessarily realise it or not.
And believe it or not, to get that squishy tone he got, to get that, that when I was doing the 2 notes, you bend up. He used to use a phaser. I think it was a Phase 90 script one, an early pedal, because obviously there wasn't many pedals back then.
Phase 90, I think MXR,
MXR Phase 90. He used, it was either MXR Phase 90 or MXR 4.5 phaser. In a way, one of them slightly subtle than the other. But he used to use it on about 7 o'clock and with his amp, and that's how he'd get that tone.
I don't know. I never thought of using phasing that way. I might investigate that.
Yeah, I like the effect phaser. I sometimes use it, but yeah, I've not got it today. But yeah, sometimes, yeah.
To be fair, I'm very lazy now with the fact I tend to. Sometimes I'll stick the chorus on that if I'm doing something that's heavily 80s. But other than that, I just can't be bothered these days. But I never knew that about the phaser. I'll give that effect a try, have a bit of a play with it. Cool. Well, actually, that leads us quite nicely next onto the next thing I've got written down on my notes, which was preferred kit, and explain about your gear, your guitar, the pedals and amps that you prefer. I know you've got a fairly wide guitar collection because I've seen you play a fair few times, and I don't believe I've ever seen the same guitar twice. I certainly haven't seen that one before.
Some of them come and they go, so. But this one, I'm sure you've seen me play a lot on jam sessions. And
I might have seen that one
and YouTube, but
I've seen your latest one with the arch top. That's a lovely looking thing, that. But yeah, so this looks like it's been around the block as well.
Yeah, it's definitely being played a lot.
So Squire Bullet.
Yeah, it's an E series Squire Bullet from 1987. So,
excellent.
So it's got Japanese parts on it. So, like full size block, you know.
Yeah. I noticed it's only got the one tone control.
That's right.
And that's quite unusual. It's not got your classic Fender angled jack socket, is it?
That's right, yeah. That's the only thing that's not original, the jack socket, actually. Believe it or not. So.
Is it? Is it an illusion, or is it a smaller body? I
think it is slightly smaller, yeah. But
I'm fairly certain it's not because it's far away.
Do you know what? I never really look at things like that. It either feels good or it doesn't, you know. And I had this guitar given to me, so and it's just one of them guitars where it never goes out of tune, and you can do a lot to it, and it just.
You're listening to that, never goes out of tune. Yeah. Sorry, we had words on after a gig on Saturday night.
Oh man.
Listen, never goes out of tune. Listen to the man.
But,
so is that a particular favourite, that one?
Yeah, this is one of my favourite Strats. Believe it or not.
And they are the original pickups.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. Yeah, just sounds good.
It's in lovely neck. I've got to say, looking at the neck.
But it's got a few dings on it from what I've done. Believe it or not.
I can believe that. People have asked me if this is relic and it's not. It's ruined. That's just me worn that away.
That looks nice guitar.
Well, one of my luthier friends keeps on me to get it refretted, and it is about 10 years overdue for a refret. But I'm not sure I can actually play anything else, so I haven't managed to part with it yet. Cool. So, as well as the Bullet, then, have you got any other particular favourites?
Yeah. I've got a Gibson Les Paul Studio, which I've got attached to. So yeah.
Cool. And do you tend to mod your guitars, or do you just tend to keep them as is?
No, I keep them as they are. I never mod them. I have modded them in the past, but I've learnt the hard way that a good guitar will sound good as it is. You know, when I first picked this up, it wasn't even set up or anything like that, or it had loads of dust on it and everything. And my dad gave it me.
Rescued it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, rescued it basically.
Took it away from the stray. That's done a lovely job. Can't fault it.
And it just felt so good even then, even though it choked out a little bit, you know, on the top end of the frets and stuff. But after the setup, you know, that's all it needed. And yeah, I'm wearing the frets low, but yeah,
can't argue with that. Cool. And then amps, obviously we're using the Big Mama Cat tonight. But your normal amp is a Fender Blues Junior, is that right? That's what I saw you with last time.
No,
No?
my favourite amp is a, believe it or not, it's a valve amp now. It's a DT50 line 6.
Oh, right.
Yeah, but I was playing a Roland Blues Cube hot amp, but I really like this line 6 valve amp, to be honest. You don't really see many line 6 valve amps.
You don't. They brought out the Spider valve series back years ago. That I think was designed in collusion with Bogner. It's reaching back in the sort of mid-noughties, I think.
Yeah.
The early series of Spiders, but yeah, you don't tend to see line 6 valve stuff.
It's got a few like different tones in it. You know, it's got like you know, British sort of tone, and then it's got American stuff like that. But I just use the amp clean anyway, just clean platform.
You just run the pedals to it.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's where you get most of your drive from, rather than driving the amp.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right. Let's bring the pedal board up to the camera for a moment and show the good people what we've got tonight. Being careful not to drop. So we have here.
Should I take that? There you go. That's it.
Oh, there we go. That's right. Right. Would you like to talk us through what we're looking at here? So we've got Digitech Hothead.
Yes. Yeah. Well, the first pedal from the guitar
of course,
is the MXR distortion free, believe it or not. And it's a distortion pedal, but it gives me that grit. It's like a blues breaker type of vibe to it.
I see. You've got the distortion. That's actually quite low, so it's only about a third on.
Yeah, but you can bring it on. But it's like a blues breaker, Marshall type of tone. But I just love it. I've tried other pedals. I just like that. Yeah.
Cool.
And
this one here, red repeat, Carl Martin.
Yeah, it's just a basic delay pedal, really. It just sounds good. It's it's just it gives you that slap back, or you know, if you want that Pink Floyd type.
I could say rockabilly, going back to what I was saying earlier.
Yeah. Or even Pink Floyd type of tone. Yeah, it gives you that analog delay. Yeah.
Cool. And then Digitech Hothead, which I'm sure I recognise from kind of like late 90s.
Yeah, and that's the newest pedal, to be honest, the Hothead. And it's a bit of a secret weapon, actually. It's quite good. It's it's quite a cheap pedal to buy, second hand and new. So
let me put them back down there, and you can give us a demo then. So that's with the, you play a little bit. So we try it first, just clean through the cat, so we've got a reference.
Yeah.
Well,
bridge position. So.
Yeah. And then let's hear how then the MXR affects the sound. It's nice.
Gives me that sort of blues, British sort of tone.
It's got a lovely blossomy feel to it.
Yeah, it's a blues breaker type vibe, but it's not exactly like it. But you know,
you can control that with your volume.
Yeah. You can turn the distortion up and down. So you know, like a Led Zeppelin type thing. But yeah, it gives you that sort of tone, and you can turn the distortion up. It just sounds natural.
And that's coming out of bridge single coil. That's got some balls to it.
It just sounds natural to me.
It does, yeah. I go along with that.
And that's what you want a pedal to sound like, I think. So, yeah.
Cool. And then, we dialed in a bit of delay on the red repeat.
Yeah. And then this just can give you a little bit of, you know.
Yeah, I hear there's a
I'll
little bit of extra atmosphere.
just turn it up a bit. But yeah.
Do you always run it into the front end of the amp then, or do you ever put that into the effects loop?
So if I go, so I'm just going to go like, so usually I run it like that sort of setting. Maybe the battery's going.
Do you always run that in the front end like that, or do you ever go out to the effects loop?
No, I always run the pedals just as they are and then straight into the amp. Yeah, I've done that before. I like it like this.
To be fair, less cable, it's easier to set up.
Yeah.
And then let's hit the big fella at the end, then the hot head.
So yeah, that just sounds good when it's stacked with this distortion free. So
I've never really tried stacking distortion pedals, to be fair.
the distortion's quite low on the hot head, but you can bring it up and the levels right to the top. So. So yeah, it boosts it, you know. Yeah, it just gives you that 70s sort of vibe, Gary Moore, I guess.
Very cool.
Sounds natural.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? And again,
It's
that
a
one.
cheap pedal to buy.
I might keep an eye out for one then.
And you can
cleans up nicely.
turn the gain up a bit.
Very cool. Might clean up well when you ride it back with the volume pot.
Yeah, yeah. But
Very responsive.
I use the MXR distortion free most of the time, to be honest. It's only when I'm kicking a solo.
So you use that as a boost pedal then on the end?
Yeah. Just when I go into a solo, yeah. So that's it.
Cool. Right. Moving back on then. So, that's the script, and if I can read my own writing, the story of M Blues, which is Mysterious Blues then. So, the band. How did the band come together?
Well, the band came together through trying to create my own band. But it wasn't really a blues band first. It was more, this is more traditional blues bass, this band now, Mysterious Blues. But originally the band was called Midnight Wine. Okay.
That rings. Were you under that name when you first sent in stuff to the Cast Bar?
No.
Why have I heard that before then?
It probably the Fender colour, because there's a Strat called.
To be fair,
Strat called Midnight Wine.
Now you say that is a good band name.
In that colour. So. But yeah, so it was first called Midnight Wine with different members, and I was, it was all original sort of songs.
Oh, cool.
And there was a guy who used to write his songs as well, and he used to sing as well. And after that, he left, and then the drummer left and moved on to university or whatever, and then after that, I had gigs booked, and I needed to try and get something together still. So I basically put an advert out, got a bass player at the time and a drummer, and then just did the gigs, and it just
stuck from there.
It first started at the Black Horse, in Leicester.
I know the one you mean. Yeah.
On Brunston Gate, so And so yeah, I've played there a few times, but
So you're mainly Leicester based then?
so yeah, but to be honest, the band first started, more poppy, let's say, more like there's a song I written called you know Dance All Night Long. I can't remember the exact title. Was it Dance All Night Long? Anyway,
It's a good premise for a song. Mavericks did all right out of it.
But yeah, and it's more funky and stuff like
I
that.
think give us a little bit of the riff or it.
Yeah, if I can remember it, because it's been a long time.
Right, right.
That kind of thing.
Nice,
But,
yeah. I can see why you got the name Groove.
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
still
cool.
learning how to groove.
Hell, we all are. We're all still learning. That's a great thing about guitar. You can keep on learning as long as you want to.
Yeah, probably wanted less distortion as well for that.
That's cool as hell.
But yeah, it sort of
The
started
major sevens as well.
more that type of vibe. More, I'd say Prince influence more
Yeah.
towards that. And then after that, I just wanted to play blues because when I first tried to get my band together, I got told a lot, or you won't be able to get any gigs playing just blues.
To be honest, I've got to admit, that's what I always thought, because I'd always fancied doing a blues band, and I was kind of despaired of the idea, because exactly that, because, yeah, people tell you, it's such a niche thing, this isn't like the south side of Chicago, it's Loughborough, you're not going to get gigs. But that's rubbish, isn't it, because you guys are all over the place, you're doing really well now.
Well, I don't know how we get away with it, but maybe it's putting songs in like, Stand By Me and Pretty Woman in the set.
I think people do just like blues. But it's even if they don't know the songs, everybody's heard a 12-bar. Everybody can kind of figure what's going to come next, and everybody enjoys it. Maybe we nerds really get off on hearing a particular blues tune, but everybody digs blues to a certain extent, I think, whether they realise it or not.
When I'm playing songs like Dakota, I try and do it in a bit of a blues sort of style. So so I'm guessing I get away with it just about.
Cool. Right, let's move on a little bit further then. So, right, current activity and future plans. So, yeah, what are you currently? Well, you're currently gigging a lot, aren't you? And have you been up and down to London a few times now recently?
Yeah.
Do you gigging down there as well?
Yeah.
Cool. Whereabouts?
When it's worth the time and the travel as well.
Yeah, that's a big win, isn't it? Because it's not cheap.
Yeah. But we'll probably be gigging there in the summer, something.
Any particular venues that you favour? Is it usually the same kind of couple of venues, or do you go all over?
When I played at the Beehive Bow in London, that was a really good venue. I thought, yeah.
Are they mainly venues that tend to specialise in doing blues?
No, original bands actually.
Oh right.
Yeah, they don't specialise in blues or anything. They're just original bands. But how I got that gig, I got lucky because some promoter inboxed me and wondered if I was interested. So, so I was playing with a lot of indie bands as well. So there was a few sort of rock and influenced bands, which come from the blues as well, because it's all the same thing, isn't it?
Well, funny, boil back, it's just 12 notes in the marketing department. And because I think you play some original stuff with Mysterious Blues now as well, don't you? I've seen some, yeah. So you got any kind of any plans on that front? Get some recording?
Yeah, I've got a lot of new songs I've written, but we've been through a few, but not too many, because the trouble is we're just starting really. So it's like, you know.
So Mysterious Blues is fairly new then, what, last couple of years?
Yeah, believe it or not, the band started when the gig happened. The very first gig happened at the Black Horse. Really,
When
I got the bass player in like a week or 2 weeks, 3 weeks before the gig. You know, and after that we were constantly gigging. I had gigs before I had gigs booked before I had a band, sort of thing. You know.
I can't follow initiative. So when would this have been then? Pre-pandemic, I assume.
October 2019.
Also, like just pre-pandemic then. So you got all these gigs.
Yeah.
And then,
So what we were gigging like non-stop from October to March, and then the 20th of March, we did a gig at the Tap and Clapper in Loughborough, and then it all stopped there. That was the last night, you know.
Yeah, I remember we just found a new home for our open mic, and I think that was like February the 20th. It's been then. Sure enough, everything got switched off.
So, yeah. So, and after that,
You probably enjoyed the first bit of lockdown. Then you must have been knackered.
No.
Oh, you're not old like
How
me.
can you get knackered from playing music?
No, I fully agree with that. I always claim the bit I want paying for is the getting home at 4 o'clock in the morning and lugging gear about. The playing the music, I'll do all that for free.
Yeah.
It's the humping stuff around that I want reimbursing for. Cool. Right. So, yeah, future plans. I guess we talked a little bit about that. And so you got new songs. I guess it's keeping on gigging.
Yeah,
now.
we're planning to. I need more details on it, but we're planning to play in Poland.
Oh, cool.
The Blues and Rock Festival, I think. So.
Well, fingers crossed that nothing gets nastier in that part of the world.
Yeah. So, and then there was a festival down south we're interested. So, but it's all. Is it going to happen? I guess. At the moment.
There's still a lot of uncertainty. Yeah. And I thought we'd be feeling nostalgic for February 2020, didn't you?
But the future plan is just to play, play gigs and just play. I just enjoy playing, to be honest. I'm not bothered about getting famous or anything like that. I just want to be I just want to play. Do you know what I mean?
Who wants to be famous when you can be good instead?
Well, it's not just that. I just enjoy playing, you know.
That's the moral of the story, everybody. Being good at something and enjoying it is its own reward, never mind. I've many musician friends who've been at this a while and often get a little bit, you might say, jaded by, where has it got me? I've never found riches and fame. What would you rather be doing with your evening? Would you rather be slumped in front of EastEnders or eating chips or, at a rehearsal or an open mic night?
You're in the wrong business if you want to earn really, really good money, unless you get lucky at like a good opportunity. But even then,
but the moral
risk.
The sheer enjoyment of doing it is its own reward.
Yeah.
And I'll definitely raise a glass to that. Right, this is where I'm going to make an embarrassment of myself now, because I'm going to get you to show me a lick and I'm going to attempt to learn it.
Well, you're better than me.
Well, this is where I show. This is for everybody who's talking about imposter syndrome. This is where I'm going to now take on my inner imposter.
Well, I would say when I said you're better than me, you're different, and that's it.
And
you
can learn. You can learn
really
from absolutely everybody with a pair of ears. Not even a pair of ears in my case. But there's definitely stuff that I've taken from watching you play over the few gigs and video sessions and stuff. So yeah,
thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Honoured.
Likewise. So yeah, give us your favourite lick.
One of my favourite licks is in a solo is to go.
That's a very long ability.
Yeah, a little bit. But you have to bend the the B string on the 7th fret slightly to make it sound a
It's
bit.
like a quarter tone. You're hitting both the
Yeah.
yeah, so it's not quite, yeah. Yeah, I hear the difference. So you got a little bit of dissonance.
Yeah, because if I just do it like this, it sounds totally different. Yeah.
Now, if you're watching this and you're one of my students, you'll recognise the concept of the magic 3 notes. And what George has done is simply move them across onto the B and E strings instead of the G and the B. And again, if you're one of my students, you're probably saying, but you're not allowed to do that because that's not part of the minor pentatonic 7th fret B note, and you're right, but the music theory police aren't coming to arrest us, and in many circumstances it can sound very cool.
I love all that, rock stuff you do.
Yeah, cheers. Right, well, I'll tell you what then. If you show me a little bit, this is, I'm going to just tell about this a little bit. This is what I would have. This is a little thing I've been playing about with. It comes from a diminished 7 arpeggio, which is like really cool and outside and out there and all that sort of stuff, because over February that my player of choice was John Petrucci to study, and picked up all sorts of mad atonal stuff off of him. But of course all that stuff is largely useless if you're playing straight out rock and blues. It's fine if you're playing prog rock and shred metal, but largely useless, except that it's not. Because a diminished 7 has a root, a flat 3rd, a double flat 7 which is effectively a 6th, and a flat 5. And the blues scale has a root, a flat 3rd, a flat 5, and the Dorian has a 6th, which is the double flat 7. So what you can do, and I'm having great fun incorporating these into a basic pentatonic pattern. Here's my little palette of notes. I've got the 8th and 5th on the high E, 7th fret on the B, so the same 3 notes you were using there. And I'm capping off with the 8th fret and 5th fret on the G. So what I would take with that is I'd start with that. Repeat that round a few times. Build the tension, pull the spring back, and then a little run down. Pull off 8 to 5 on the high E, down the 7th fret B, and then 8 to 5 on the G, and then down 7th fret on the D. Then you resolve into a root there. Don't do it too much, which to be fair I will have been guilty of, because whenever I learn a new lick I'm just like, right, next gig it's repeat, you can play the drinking game with me. And so that got played an awful the last gig we did last Saturday. Right, let's wrap this up with having a little jam to finish things off, and we'll sort of fade out I think over the jam, so I will just to take the opportunity to thank you for coming over. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Certainly learned a fair bit from you, and I hope you guys out there have enjoyed it. Do all the YouTube stuff, like, was it smash a like, and no, it's not that it is. It's hit that like, smack. I might edit this bit out. Drop a like and smash that subscribe button. That's what you're supposed to say. That's the YouTube.
I've got a YouTube channel as well.
You have as well. I'm subscribed to that, and I will be putting links to. In fact, I will be putting links to all of Georgia Mysterious Blues' social media and website and stuff, all in the links below, all in the description. So let us crank up your MXR and let's have a bit of jam.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4.